Hello everyone! Have you ever wondered about the laws that regulate employment? We from Group 1 and Group 2 will explain about employment for all of you. And here are our group members. So take notes and let's get started!
Definition. The definition of employment according to Law Number 13 of 2013 is everything related to the workforce before, during and after the work period. Discussion on employment includes Law Number 13 of 2003, Government Regulation Number 31 of 2006, and Presidential Regulation Number 8 of 2012. The article that we highlight in Law of Number 13 of 2003, namely the article that is related to the next article in Peraturan Pemerintah Number 31 of 2006 and Presidential Decree Number 8 of 2012, namely Chapter 5 concerning job training Article 9 above and Article 10 Paragraph 2. In Article 10, Paragraph 2, it is stated that job training is carried out based on training program that refers to work competency standard.
And I will explain about Government Regulation Number 31 of 2006, Article 4, Paragraph 1 and Paragraph 3, Article 5, Paragraph 1 until 3. Wherein Peraturan Pemerintah Number 31 of 2006, Article 4, Paragraph 1 and Paragraph 3 is about job training program are prepared based on SKKNI Indonesian National Work Competency Standard, and on Paragraph 1 is about international standard and or special standard, and Paragraph 3 job training program are prepared in stage referring to the KKNI level. Then it is explained again in Article 5, Paragraph 1 is about in order to develop the quality of the workforce, the KKNI is established, which is arranged based on the lowest to the highest level of work competency qualification. Paragraph 2, the KKNI as referred to in Paragraph 1 consists of 9 levels starting with Certificate Qualification 1 to Certificate 9. Next, I will explain about Presidential Regulation Number 8 of 2012, Article 2, Paragraph 1 until 3. Paragraph 3 is about KKNI as intended in Paragraph 1 is specified by Presidential Regulation. In Paragraph 3, it is stated that is specified by Presidential Regulation. So, the KKNI is a Presidential Decree Number 8 of 2012, namely is Chapter 2 concerning level and equalization. Article 2, Paragraph 1 is about KKNI consists of 9 qualification level, starting from level 1 as the lowest level to level 9 as the highest level, and Paragraph 2 which explains the KKNI qualification level. Last is about reflection and evaluation of Law Number 13 of 2003 concerning employment. Is a regulation that has an important objective in regulating the relationship between workers and employers, as well as protecting workers' rights in Indonesia. Since its promulgation in 2003, this law has played a major role in creating a more orderly employment climate and protecting workers. Several things that can be reflected in this law are: number 1 is increased protection for workers. This law provides better protection for workers, such as guarantees for worker rights, regulation of wage, social security, and regulation of decent working condition. This protection is very important, especially is facing potential exploitation and injustice in the world of work. Number 2 is improving the quality of industrial relation. UU Number 13 of 2003 focus on creating a harmonious relationship between workers and entrepreneurs. Number 3 is provision of social security and workers' welfare. This law regulates social and health security for workers, which ensure the worker receive protection in the event of a work accident, illness, or retirement.
Regulation of child and women's labor. This law also pays special attention to the protection of child and female workers, with restrictions on working hours for children and the obligation of companies to provide fair treatment to female workers, for example in Articles 6979. Evaluation of Law No. 13 of 2003. Even though it has made a major contribution in regulating the world of employment, there are several aspects of Law No. 13 of 2003 which needs to be evaluated and improved to make it more relevant to the needs of the times. Some aspects that need to be evaluated are 1. Weaknesses in law enforcement. One of the big problems in implementing Law No. 13 is weak law enforcement in the field. Many companies do not comply with provisions regarding workers' rights, such as minimum wages, social security, or even unilateral termination of employment. Stricter law enforcement and more effective supervision need to be improved. 2. Injustice in the outsourcing and contract system. This law provides space for outsourcing practices and contract workers. Although it can provide flexibility for companies, it also leads to injustice for workers, who often do not have the same rights as permanent workers. Therefore, there needs to be reforms that better protect workers' rights in the outsourcing and contract system. 3. Changes in the dynamics of the world of work. The world of work has now changed a lot, with the Industrial Revolution 4.0, which leads to the use of digital technology and automation. This law, enacted more than 2 decades ago, has not fully accommodated these changes. For example, regulations regarding remote workers or freelance workers are still limited. This law needs to be changed to make it more relevant to current work trends. Wage arrangements are less flexible. These laws provide the basis for setting minimum wages, but are often not flexible enough to adapt to dynamic economic conditions. Minimum wage increases are sometimes disproportionate to inflation or increases in the cost of living, which causes welfare inequality between workers and entrepreneurs. And last, employee education and training. This law also does not pay sufficient attention to aspects of skills development and education for workers. In an increasingly competitive and rapidly changing world, workers need to be empowered with ongoing training and education. This law needs to introduce more policies that encourage worker skills development. 3. Conclusion. Law No. 13 of 2003 concerning employment has provided a strong basis for the protection of workers' rights in Indonesia and more structured industrial relations arrangements. However, with the rapid development of the world of work, this law needs to be revised to be more responsive to new challenges that arise, such as work flexibility, technological developments, and changing socio-economic dynamics. In addition, stronger law enforcement and more effective supervision are needed to ensure that workers' rights are well protected.
Reflection and evaluation of Government Regulation Number 31 of 2006 concerning specific time work agreements and regulation on termination of employment relation. 1. Reflection on PP Number 31 of 2006 Government Regulation Number 31 of 2006 concerning certain time work agreements is the government's effort to provide a legal basis regarding the regulation of certain time work contracts and the regulation of employment termination. This PP function to regulate work relation between workers and employers that are not permanent, as well as providing legal protection for both parties. Some important reflection from PP number 31 of 2006 are as follows. The number one is simplification of the employment contract arrangement system. This PP provides a clear legal basis regarding which previously might have been regulated more in general provisions. The existence of clear provisions regarding this type of work arrangement for a certain period of time provides more definite guidelines for workers and employers in carving out work relationship. This helps reduce the ambiguity that often occurs in practice in the field. Example of Article 21, paragraph number 1. Number 2 is protection of workers in specific term employment contracts. PP number 31 of 2006 also seeks to provide more protection for workers. This regulation regulates limits regarding the duration of the contract and workers' right, such as the right to severance pay when the employment contracts and dissound, and effort to maintain a balance between the interests of employers and workers' right. Even though workers with short-time contracts do not receive the same status as permanent workers. Example of Article number 11. Number 3 is provisions regarding termination of employment. This paper regulates in more detail the procedure for terminating employment relation for workers with short-time teamwork agreements. This layoff regulation is very important because it provides clear guidance for employer not to carry out layoff unilaterally and protects workers from unfair dismissal. Example of Article number 11. Number 4 is flexibility for companies. PP number 31 of 2006 provides companies with flexibility in using contract workers to meet temporary needs or specific projects. This allows companies to be more efficient in managing their workforce according to dynamic business needs, without having to always use permanent workers. Example of Article number 9. Evaluation of PP number 31 of 2006. Even though PP number 31 of 2006 provides many advantages in regulating work relation between contract workers and employers, there are several things that need to be evaluated to ensure fairness for all parties and relevance to development. In the world of work today, some evaluation points that need to be considered are: 1. Lack of protection for contract workers. Even though there are regulations regarding the rights of contract workers, many contract workers still feel disadvantaged because they do not have the same rights as permanent workers, especially regarding benefits and social security. Many companies take advantage of provisions to avoid the obligation to provide rights such as severance pay or pension guarantees. For the reasons, there needs to be increased protection for contract workers, such as guarantees of more adequate welfare and stricter regulation regarding the duration of PP number 31, 2006. Number 2, System PP number 31 of 2006 opened up opportunities for several companies to abuse system by continuously exceeding work contracts without giving workers permanent status. This can place workers in an unsafe position, as they do not have certainty about their employment status and long-term right. The government needs to lighten regulation regarding the maximum duration of PP number 31, 2006 and the use of recurring contracts.
Reflection and evaluation. Number 3 is a limited regulation on freelance worker. Limited regulation on freelance worker is in Government Regulation number 31 of 2006. The regulations are more focused on workers with current contracts but provide less space for freelance workers. Currently, many workers work with a freelance system or project that are not specifically regulated in this regulation. The existence of this type of worker is growing along with the trend of the digitalization and the gig economy. So there is need to be clearer regulation to protect freelance worker in the context of employment law. Number 4, ineffective termination procedures. Although this government regulations regulates the procedure for termination of employment for contract workers, practice in the field show that termination of employment is still often carried on in a manner that is not accordance with the regulations. For example, by unilateral termination of employment without sufficient notice or appropriate compensations. Law enforcement and supervision of termination of employment practice need to be strengthened to ensure that workers' rights are properly protected. And last, number 5 is lack of socialization and understanding. One of the biggest challenges is the lack of good understanding from workers and employers regarding the provisions in Government Regulation Number 31 of 2006. More intensive socialization and legal education for workers and employers are needed so that this regulation can be implemented more effectively and appropriately. Third, conclusions. Government Regulation Number 31 of 2006 has provided a clear basis regarding the regulation of fixed-term employment agreements and termination of employments. However, there are several aspects that need to be improved, especially related to fairer protection for contract work and the utilizations of the fixed-term employment agreement system that is not misused by companies. On the other hand, the world of work that continues to develop, including the emergence of freelance work and other flexible work systems, requires smart and appropriate regulation to protect all workers. Evaluation and revisions of this government regulations are very important to ensure that employment in Indonesia runs more fairly, transparently, and relevant to change socio-economic conditions. Reflection and evaluation of Presidential Regulation Number 8 of 2012 concerning the Indonesian National Qualification Framework. First, reflection on Presidential Regulation Number 8 of 2012. Presidential Regulation Perpres Number 8 of 2012 concerning the Indonesian National Qualification Framework is a strategic step by the Indonesia government to align education with the needs of the world of work and develop a national competency recognition system. KKNI aims to improve the quality and competence of Indonesia human research through clear and measurable competency standards. Several important things that can be reflected from this purpose are 1. Arrangement of national competency standards. KKNI provides a basis for the arrangement and development of competency standards in various sectors of work and education. This allows for clear recognition of the competencies possessed by a person, either through formal, non-formal education or training in the world of work. With the existence of KKNI, the public can have clearer guidance regarding the abilities that must be possessed for each career or education level. Reflection number 1. Clear recognition of a person's competency through a certificate in Article 4.
Reflection and evaluations. Number 2. Increase worker mobility. KKNI allows workers to more easily move between job sector or between education levels with recognition of their competencies. With more structured competency standards, workers have a greater opportunity to obtain jobs in various fields or even pursue careers abroad with more universal recognition of competencies. Reflection number 2, competencies can be universally recognized through the international certificates in Article 1, paragraph 16.7. Number 3, synergy between education and the world of work. One of the main objectives of KKNI is to ensure that education provided to the community is relevant to the needs of the world of work. Through the recognition of competencies produced by education and training, KKNI helps align education output with the skills needed by industry. Thus, graduates of education can be better prepared to face job demands. Reflection number 3, recognition of competencies obtained in Article 3. Number 4, development of lifelong learning system. KKNI support a lifelong learning system which encourages individuals to continue learning and developing skills throughout their lives, but in formal and non-formal contexts. This is in line with the development of the world of work, which continues to change and demands the ability to adapt. Reflection number 4 in the lifelong learning process is in Article 1, paragraph 3. 2. Evaluation of Presidential Regulation number 8 of 2012. Although Presidential Regulation number 8 of 2012 has a noble goal in improving the quality of the Indonesian workforce, there are several aspects that need to be evaluated to ensure that the implementation of KKNI runs effectively and provides maximum positive impact. Some of the evaluation points include: number 1, uneven implementations. One of the main challenges in implementing the KKNI is the inequality in its application in various education sectors and the world of work. In some areas, the KKNI may not be fully understood or implemented, so that recognition of individual competencies that do not go through formal channels is often less recognized. Socialization and training regarding the KKNI still need to be strengthened, especially for entrepreneurs and educational institutions in areas that have not been sufficiently exposed to information about this system. Number 2, limited infrastructure and resources. Implementation of the KKNI requires adequate infrastructure, such as a standardized competency recording and certification system. However, some educational and training institutions are still limited in providing these facilities. In addition, the lack of trained human resources to conduct competency assessment is an obstacle to running the KKNI system effectively. Number 3, difficulties in alignment between educational institution and the industrial world. One of the objectives of the KKNI is to align education with the industrial world, but in practice, there is still a gap between the skills taught in educational institutions and the skill needed by industry. Educational institutions have not been fully able to respond quickly to change in the needs of the labor market, and the industrial sector often feels that the competencies produced by educational institutions are not fully ready for use. Number 4, recognition of non-formal and informal competencies. Although the KKNI provides recognition for competencies obtained through non-formal and informal channels, the implementation of this system is still limited. Many workers with extensive work experience but do not have formal education degrees have difficulty getting recognition for their skills. Certification programs for workers who have experience in a certain field need to be strengthened so that they get recognition that is equal to graduates of formal educations.
Expansion of the scope of KKNI. Initially, KKNI focused more on the higher education and vocational education sector, but other sectors such as primary and secondary education as well as community-based training have not been fully covered by this system. As a consequence, individuals who have complete education outside the formal pathway or are not directly related to the formal industrial world often do not receive recognition for their competence. Therefore, expanding the scope of KKNI to cover more sector and educational pathway outside of higher education is very important. Presidential Regulation Number 8 of 2012 concerning the Indonesian National Qualification Framework is an important step to improve the quality of Indonesian human research and allied education with the world of work. However, to realize these major goals, further evaluation and improvement are needed in terms of more equitable implementation, alignment between educational institutions and the industrial world, and strengthening the recognition of competence obtained non-formal and informal pathway. Therefore, it is necessary to continue to carry out socialization, training, and development of systems that support effective implementation of the KKNI. To ensure that the KKNI can truly have a positive impact on the competitiveness of the Indonesian workforce in the global market. It can be concluded that the regulations that have been updated contain several aspects that cover various matters in employment, where it sets social security rights, wages, and so on. However, to realize the hot content in these policies, there needs to be further evaluation and improvement to ensure that employment in Indonesia is running in accordance with these goals.